Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Welcome to SIG CLI Bug Scrub. And today our host will be Eddie. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's May 27th today. And the Blocker Bug is hosted by Eddie. So I'll pass the baton to Eddie, who's already sharing his screen.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're eager to get started. Hi, everyone. So we don't have much of a backlog. May's pretty cleaned out. So I'm guessing maybe we start at the front and we work back a bit, see how far we get.
So I have a suggestion because there are metrics, and I'll try to prepare a presentation for the next time about how SIGs are dealing with their backlog. And I know that, for example, SIG API machinery, what they are doing is, aside from going through bugs, they're also going through PRs and assigning the PRs to people for reviews and approvals. We could potentially look if our bug backlog is reasonably in control. We could scroll through PRs at some point in time. I'm not saying that today, but in the long term, we could also scroll through PRs and ensure that the PRs are being actively reviewed and approved as we go, so there are no leftovers, because obviously we want to help other people push their PRs, or at least respond to their PRs. Does that make sense?
Totally. SIG API machinery also meets twice a week. So
I know that one. But I'm not sure I'm ready for that much of a commitment yet.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to go through and assign PRs. Not necessarily, like, we don't need to review them the way we review the bugs, but just make sure that someone is assigned to each one. I think that would be pretty, or I should say, just like for customized, that should be pretty manageable, I think, because like the PR count isn't super high and they're all in one repo. For kube control in the customized repo, or in the Kubernetes repo, it might be more challenging simply because there's just so much more noise.
I've sat in on a few of the API machinery ones, and they actually fly through these. Like, they don't even read the issue. They just assign it to someone to figure out and deal with. So I'm happy to give that a go if y'all want to try that.
Yeah, definitely.
With the issue triage?
Either issue triage or PRs. They literally fly through, and then it's, okay, this one's for John, this one's for Jill.
Actually, I like that idea, but I will say, though, as someone who's still relatively new to Kubernetes, to the organization, that it's been helpful to hear some of the conversation back and forth. So I kind of come down on both sides of that.
I mean, we could probably meet halfway there. For PRs, I would just fly through them and ensure that they are being looked at actively. And for issues, we actually go through them and discuss them.
I second that.
Yeah, maybe we can, divide the meeting by half, and half we spend on PRs and half on the issues. That will allow us to have a manageable backlog of both in the long run.
Cool. So we want to start with PRs.
I would start with issues today. You've mentioned that we have only a handful of those.
Yeah.
So we can run through those, and then we can scrape through PRs.
Yeah, we only have 67. When we started, it was closer to 300 or 400. So we've done a good job, team.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, so let's start at the front then. So we have this one. Ability to run command against context parameter. Brian, you already checked in here.
I think
there might-
that is just a flag he didn't know about, maybe.
Ah,
Yeah, I would wait a couple more days
cool.
and
Okay. This bug, it looks like a doc bug. No. Storage bug.
that's something for the release team. We're not dealing with those specifically, so I don't think we want to address those.
Well, let's take an action on it. Do we tag someone from release or do we close it or?
I'll tag the release team and I'll close the bug.
Okay. Job duration equals age when all pod failed.
Yeah, this is. I feel like I've seen this one in the issue list before, but I don't think I could find it. But I don't know. I think it's a problem, but you can look at what I did there and what he said. Oh, I guess I did find it. Possibly, yeah. So I guess it's something that's maybe already there or similar.
This reminds me of that open cron job timing issue that's been open for like 6 years that I've seen you on the thread, Mache.
Cron job is a never-ending story that I would like to get some time to get it fixed. But yeah, I'll get to it eventually.
So I'm not quite sure. So is this an actual bug that needs to be fixed?
Yeah. So what happens is when the job gets created, if it'll retry, I guess what 5-6 times or something, and then end up failing. But then at the very bottom of the output there, it says that the duration is 15 minutes. But I mean, the age is 15 minutes because 15 minutes ago I tried to run it, but it's not running for 15 minutes.
If I remember correctly, the duration for the job is counted from the minute the first one started all the way till the last pod ends. And the reason for that is we can have one or multiple pods running those. I would have to sum all of these, and the simplest one approach was to pick the first and the last, because the start and end time for the job we have within the job resource, and calculating the duration per pod that is actually executing this might be time consuming if you have, I don't know, 100 of pods executing a particular job. So the reasoning was, and I think it is explained in the API as well, that it is the overall duration of the job. Let me quickly peek
Well, that makes sense. And I think if you look at that output too, you can see that last pod. The last pod, it says well, that's the age, I guess. Oh, so that's the age, sorry.
I guess if it never passes, it will always match the age of the first pod, right?
Well, I mean, each of those pods ran for 30 seconds, if I recall, and then failed. Because I think that, I created like a custom Docker image that would just fail after 30 seconds. So each of those is 30 seconds. And then I let it sit there for like 15 or, for like 10 more minutes. And it said, so the total duration from the first job or first pod to the last pod is probably like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, duration is literally a subtraction. Completion time minus start time, and that's the result. You can argue about why this and not the other way around, but I would just close it as another bug. I'll leave a comment there, and I'm going to close this one.
Cool. Okay, this from Antoine.
This is actually really, I think there's a similar type problem with the completion, the command line completion thing for a whole, when you have a lot of resources. It's a similar problem.
Anyone interested in digging into this?
What's the ask here?
I think
Sounds like the
would like
pagination error, right? Where it's not paginating and trying to fill up a stack or something.
it's more that what we have in the code is that we have a fixed chunk size that people can control, and we are just fetching all of the data from the server, which might take a significant amount of time if there's many of that particular resource. I don't know, if you have 5,000 and our chunk sizes are, if I remember correctly, the default is 500. We do 10 requests, each time requesting 500. And only when we get all the 5,000s, we only then display them. And the ask, at least from the quick read, is Antoine thinks that we should be printing as we are getting. So you're printing, you're getting the initial chunk, you print them. In the meantime, you're getting the additional one, you print the additional one, and so forth and so forth. Yeah, that's a reasonable, because you are getting a constant feedback what's going on, instead of, oh, I don't know what is happening, and then suddenly you're being thrown at with gazillions of people of data back at you. So, and instead you can, halfway through you can be like, oh no, I forgot that there's this many resources. I'm gonna abort the command halfway through. It's definitely something worthy of doing. Yeah, it's definitely something related with pagination. I can't say off top of my head what it looks like, but yeah, it's definitely something that I would like to see fixed. I can more or less point the place in the code. Oh, it also might be related to sorting, but
We don't sort a lot of stuff. I noticed that when I was going through something. Okay. How can I use patches file in the parents directory? This is customized related?
Yeah, it is. So I gave him an idea, but it doesn't work. I don't know. You guys might know more about that. So he's trying to reference some base files in a parent directory, and he's getting a security error. And I was thinking, well, if you just did a symlink.
There's a flag. I think it's like disable load restrictor or something like that. I forget exactly what the flag name is, but there's a flag to make it so that it can reference files wherever. There it is.
Yeah, load restrictor none.
But they'd have to have customized 3 for that, I think. But I mean, it's still that would be the workaround.
Yeah, download, customize, and use it directly, and then use that flag until the customize is updated. Control.
Yeah, I think we would close this with exactly what Phil just said.
You want to type that up, Brian?
Sure, I can do that. So a while back, I went through and just kind of like tried to organize things a little bit, but I don't know if that was the right thing to do or not. Like if I put kind feature, am I sort of implying that we've agreed that it's something we're going to work on? Because I wasn't trying to imply that. I don't know what the right
No,
thing
I
to
think,
do is.
no, it clearly marks something as a request to be added, not as, yeah, we agree, we're going to do it. So no, that's
I think
perfect.
the opposite. It almost
Was that
implies
Phil?
that we are. Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of decided I probably shouldn't like tag things like that, but I don't know. I don't want to give the wrong.
No. This is perfectly fine because this is not a bug. This is clearly a feature, and someone wants to see this being added or extended, and we're more than happy to have that kind of functionality. The actual shape is a separate discussion because I can think of either having a no cordon flag, or I can see a taint flag for drain, which would taint, so you don't have to do taint separately and then drain separately, but you can do it at once. So there are multiple options how to implement it, but it's definitely a feature request. So that's perfectly fine.
Cool. Oh, Xiao has a PR open.
Yeah, I just started looking at it. It should be pretty straightforward.
Cool. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, it's a bug, and it's been fixed in 118 point something.
It looks like this PR right here, right?
Yep.
When we get bugs against 118.0, I've been telling at least my internal customers to upgrade, and most issues have been sorted.
Yep,
Is that like
that
a
is
default
correct.
response here?
Yeah, that's exactly what we need to write here. I'm making comment. I'll close it.
Yeah, +1 to close if it's been fixed.
Is that a
Filter
regression?
option.
Yeah, it is. It was fixed very fast, though.
Pipe to grep.
Yeah, there are a couple versions. API services also has, if I remember correctly, there's Oh, it does not. Oh, API resources has API versions.
Oh, I see what they want. So they don't want all these beta ones printed out.
Yeah.
But I say that's what grep is for.
Exactly.
Yeah, if we really wanted to support this sort of thing, I think we would emit structured data like a JSON representation of it, and then you can use your own tool to manipulate, parse it as you see fit.
Honestly, if you want to manipulate the JSON, you can get that same information on your own. Oh no, actually you would have to curl through all the possible API groups to get it.
Yeah, it's discovery.
Yeah.
OpenAPI expression of this as well, but it's not quite as clean.
You can't do a -o JSON on this?
I don't know.
It is a get. I don't have a cluster configured. I'd test it.
No, it does not. It does not support the.
Yeah, it's not hitting the standard resource APIs, which return JSON. It's hitting the
Okay.
discovery structured differently.
So do we
Oh,
say this is
no.
a valid feature? Oop.
No, he's doing get API services. That's a separate thing from. I was looking at API command.
Or API.
The other, yeah.
I think it does have JSON. I just did kubectl get API services -o JSON and got something.
Oh, great. Yeah, you're right. Looks like so just manipulate this.
So is this something we'd ever add support or consider accepting support for, or we just tell people use piping and third-party tools?
No, I don't think we'd add support for
Yeah,
sort of thing.
it's something that Bash it was built for. No, I don't want to replace stuff as simple as grep.
It's the opposite of the Unix philosophy.
Exactly.
Make one tool that does everything. Okay.
Sounds like you're describing Kubernetes itself. Someone want to type that up and close it?
Okay, I'll do that.
Cool. Yeah, Brian's answer is good.
So for something like this, will we just let the Stalebot get it?
Yeah, it'll hit it in 2 days. Okay.
I mean, theoretically, the answer was provided, and it's not an issue, but a question, and that question was beaten to death, literally, in that Stack Overflow answer. So I think we can safely close it. I'll do
Cool.
that.
I am all for closing and having people reopen if we need to.
Yeah, it's probably a reasonable approach.
Is this a docs issue?
Yeah, that's what it looks like, and there's a PR already associated
Cool.
with it.
Yeah, it looks like testbot is sad. Okay.
I'll check it out and make it sure it's approved.
Oh, error codes. Here we go.
Note they're on 118.0.
I think I should put a enhancement together about the error codes. And then we can point people to that one. It's, yeah. It's not a bug, but it's a nice feature to have. I'll change the,
Okay. Yeah, this one's come up since I can remember, right? Even before.
yeah, there are different takes at this one, but we haven't done anything with it. I wonder how I can remove a label using a bot.
I think it's /remove.
Yeah, well, with kind, I'm not sure.
This is like a massive patch.
I think this is probably a problem with string escaping or something like that.
They're also on 1.14. Should we retry? So someone wanted to give this a try testing it out on 18 or something? Bailey?
I could try. It sure is gross. That is a lot of templating.
Is that a Helm chart or just what's going on with all the Go templating?
Istio?
Yeah, I mean, if it's Istio, it's Helm, right? I can't quite grok what they're doing, but
Hey, maybe
Helm
can we
seems-
just ask? Maybe we can ask for them to like provide a reproduce like a test case to reproduce that's like 20 to 30 lines of pure YAML as opposed to whatever this is.
Yeah, definitely. This seems like a client bug, not a patch problem per se.
Maybe as a meta issue, we could update the template for filing issues to say, like, please reproduce on, kube control latest version with a link to the latest version, and provide like the minimal steps to reproduce or something like that, as opposed to what folks are doing, which is just sending us like the issue they encountered with whatever version they were using.
That's a great idea. Actually, have a pull request where I copied over the template from Kubernetes into our staging tree. So there's a PR, and I just cut out the things that didn't apply. But I mean, we could tweak their language on that.
Can you link the PR?
Yeah, let me.
Has it been merged?
No, it's open right now.
If we were going through the PRs real quickly, then we would have made sure that. That's me doing something.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
What's our current version SKU? What's the minor version of kubectl we support right now?
Client plus minus 1 is the current policy.
I want to just clarify, Bailey, what you're asking. There's what versions of the Kubernetes API server do we support, right? Which is like, might be the last 3 releases. I don't quite remember what the cluster version is. And then there's what is the SKU between client and server we support. So like theoretically, what is the oldest version of kube control that we would be responsible for, which would be the oldest version of the server minus 1 version of kube control. Conceptually, someone would be running that. However, like, I don't think like that doesn't mean we like fix every bug in every one of those things. I think like, what is the version we'd fix like minor bug fixes in? Like, we're not going to patch anything older than the most recent, probably. If it's like some minor thing that isn't critical.
Yeah, and in that case, in the giant template bug, he's within a supported SKU of 114 kubectl to server, which is 114, but it helps that I'm just going to suggest that he's on the latest version.
I agree, right? Like, because the question is like, has this been fixed in the latest version? If it has, like, we're not going to patch this into an old version of kube control.
Okay. Do we want to pivot to PRs?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Okay.
I think a PR from Brian is a good starting point. We can further.
Oh, this is customized there.
I linked it in the chat if you want to grab it from there.
Thank you.
So I took bug report, enhancement, and support request. And support request basically just says, don't open a support request. And I just did essentially a find and replace for Kubernetes and switched it with kubectl.
I'm not sure about the 3 top items from the bug report: install tools, network plugin and version, and others.
Oh, right. Maybe you don't think that really matters for this.
Yeah, I don't think. As long as kubectl, you have kubectl version, we want to know the OS and eventually cloud provider.
Yeah, just like you think, just get rid of those last 4 and just keep it simpler. That way we don't overwhelm people.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's enough. We basically need to know what OS they're running, what Kubernetes version they're working with, both kubectl and the API server, and the cloud provider they're working with. And that's all we need to know. The rest is
Like in edge
mostly
cases,
irrelevant.
if they have if they have like validating or mutating webhooks installed, right? That could obviously cause arbitrarily bad behavior. But probably that's something you probably don't need to ask most folks for.
Yeah, and the rest looks fine. So if you drop these 4, we can tag it right away.
I just added 2 comments from what we discussed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. How do we want to do this? Do we want to start at the back or the front? Because there are 917 OpenPRs tagged SIG CLI. Oh wait, no, my tag went away.
You're scaring me, Eddie.
138 open. Sorry. I didn't mean to give you a panic attack.
I almost got a heart attack.
Let's start at the back. What is PT?
Should we skip whips?
I'm inclined to close them. Well, when was the last time it was touched?
"19 days ago."
Okay. Yeah, I think it's reasonable to skip work in progress, like Bailey mentioned.
Cool.
I mean, this is another one from 2 years ago. I guess surprising to me that somebody could be working on a PR for 2 years. I don't know what's going on here.
The PR wasn't touched in over a year, and the bot has not closed it. I'm surprised by this one.
It's frozen. That's why. Lifecycle frozen.
I'm going to close it, and the assignee can reopen if they want to.
It looks, it looks like the assignee replied. He's the last person on the, is this the author? Oh, this isn't the author, sorry.
Should we sort these by most recently active? That way, or yeah.
I don't know if this is us.
I think they get SIG labels sometimes depending on what files they change. That's probably what happened.
Yeah, I don't think that's us. Here's one.
If it's not us, should we drop the label?
Yes, if we can.
I think an org member has to remove it. I don't think I can do that.
Eddie, are you not an org member?
No, Mache said he was going to work with you to figure that out.
Okay, yeah, that's easy. Go search for so everyone on the call who's not an org member has participated in a number of these things. Search for contributor ladder for Kubernetes. There's a little thing on how to do it, and then you can add me and Mache as sponsors.
Cool, will do.
There's a new membership request. You can search for the title against Kubernetes org, if I remember correctly. I think they will list the requirements is there as well.
Okay.
I just approved this one. All it is a small doc fix for just a couple of. I just approved that one.
Okay. Issue template. That's Brian's. This looks pretty straightforward.
Can somebody throw the okay to test on that one then?
I'm doing that one. And I'll review that one afterwards.
Cool.
And one thing I noticed is when you create a PR, the system, I can't remember what it was, the bot or whatever, tells you to assign it to somebody. But I think usually the people that tells you to assign it to are not, either they're not working on CLI stuff or they haven't been active for a while. So I don't know where that list comes from.
Yeah, we need to, that's a good point, Brian. We need to update the list of the SIG CLI reviewers, or I think it's maybe maintainers, but
That's
it's definitely out of date.
That's one thing, but there are other people that are, if I remember correctly, the bot will look at all the people from the current directory and each and every single one above. And from that group, they will pick the reviewers for PRs.
But I'm thinking about who it wants you to assign it to for approval.
I don't think the bot assigns approvers.
Well, it doesn't automatically. It suggests it. It says, it tells you to do like /assign somebody. Now, maybe I should. I usually just assign it to whoever it tells me to, but to be honest, I haven't had a lot of luck getting attention from those people. Not to blame them, but I just don't think they're active.
I can speak for myself. I'm getting lost in between GitHub notification. So in my particular case, it's always easiest to reach me out on Slack. And then I'll reply with some delay, but I will reply eventually.
Yeah, I've definitely been doing that to try to get to people. It never asks me to assign it to you though. It's only to people. Actually, it never tells me to assign it to people that are even on this call right now. It's like different other people. So that's all.
Yeah, when I opened this one, it told me to assign it to someone I've never even talked to before in a call. I don't know where it came from.
We did update the list not that long ago. Maybe we need to revisit that one again.
So this is in the describe file, this describe command for kubectl. You requested changes, Mache. You approved it.
Jordan tagged it yesterday, from what I see. Yeah,
Cool.
Jordan retagged it once again after the last rebase.
It looks like it's stuck in a testing loop.
We need to see
This,
what has failed. Yeah, I've noticed kind is flaky recently.
okay, this is one of those that we got tagged in because it touches a file that we touch.
Because most probably the vendor changes.
Ignore this.
Yep.
What are we doing on time? We got 10 minutes left.
So if it's the vendor changes that are causing us to get tagged for some of these, is that something on Prow? Should we enter an issue there to have that be ignored?
Um. Hmm. That's a good question. Honestly, I don't know. On one hand, I would want to know when there are changes to our devs. On the other hand, yeah.
So this is Mache, your PR. Looks like it's failing tests right now.
Yeah, I've noticed that, but I'm gonna most probably close that one. That's against 116. I think someone asked me to do it. I pinged the release team. I might end up closing that one.
I gotta run. See you guys later.
Later, Phil.
Bye, Phil.
This one's queued for your review. Mache.
Yeah, it's a new one. It's a follow-up from what I did yesterday.
This one is not us. Pod disruption budget.
Yeah, that's SIG apps.
Okay. This is also not us, it looks like. This one's us.
I think I'm on that one already. Oh yeah, I was talking with Zoe yesterday about it. We need to do it differently.
Cool. I don't think that's us. Utils dependency, probably not us.
It might be related to SIG scheduling. Let me see.
Yeah, it's not us. Oh, here we go. This is one. This is approved already. Oh, no. Oh, this
There's
didn't
been
approve for
some.
some.
So I've been involved in a couple PRs that had to do with the dry run and the server dry run flags. It's now a strategy. How long ago was it? This was 7 days ago. Okay, yeah. Server
Yeah.
dry run is right. It's deprecated because it's now a strategy.
This was approved here, but maybe they're
Is
not
that
on their approvers list.
Yeah, I don't. I've never heard of this person, so I'd be surprised if they could. Well, it says that they. Yeah, we need it. There needs to be somebody in the Coop Cuddle owners list to approve.
Right, but this can't be removed sooner than flag was deprecated and marked to be removed after one release in 1.19. It was. Was there an exception for this one?
So it's dry run equals server, or dry run equals client now instead of dry run true or server dry run true.
Yeah, it says here, remove after one release.
Yeah, I see that one.
Is David part of SIG CLI? This person? Dead's 2K?
Kind of.
Okay.
He's in the owners.
I'll approve that one.
Okay.
It's been agreed. It's not the first thing that people will be complaining on me on.
So all the tests passed except for kind.
Yeah, kind is flaky a little bit from what I've noticed. But maybe, yeah, there are 2 replica set related failures, or even 1. So it might be a flake. Definitely not related with this PR.
Okay. This one has you active on it, Mache.
Yeah, I was looking at it, I think yesterday.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay,
And
one
if
more.
Marlian updated it, then I should be able to approve it later today.
That one's whip, if that matters.
It is. And it's inactive. So it's going to close soon.
Yeah, I'll leave it as is.
Cool. All right. We're up on time. Cool. This was great.
Yeah,
Thanks, team.
definitely.
We got through
Thank
a
you.
lot. Any new folks on the call want to introduce themselves? Say what they're interested in contributing to?
Looked
Do I
like
count as new?
the
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
looks like the participants were everybody. There were people I already knew or had seen before, so it didn't seem like
Oh,
there was
cool.
anybody new. Yeah, we got Brian, Nikolai, Bailey. I'm
I didn't
not
recognize
familiar.
Batman.
Batman. Back to the Batcave.
So
Cool.
do we have any
All right.
action items? Like, I mean, kind flaking out, does that fall on like the API machinery? Who would be chasing down that problem?
I think it's SIG testing, and I've actually been working on that a little bit, trying to figure out what's going on there. Not, I mean, just as my own personal mission to try to figure out how to improve the flakes. But I think it's SIG testing who's looking at that.
Yeah, I definitely I'm pretty deeply in the anti-flakes camp. I was gonna start a holy war over that too, but I'm glad you're doing it. Okay, and then I guess the other question was, I mean, we care if our vendor dependencies change, so it's probably fine that we're still getting automatically tagged for SIG CLI, even though we weren't involved in those change sets.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable to be notified at least a little bit of those.
Okay.
I'm looking at the vendor changes as one of the approvers for the vendor dependencies overall, but for the 6 CLI, it still does make sense.
I'm gonna take off. Thanks, guys. Good to see you guys. Stay
Thanks,
safe.
Sean.
I'll
Thanks,
see you guys
team.
next Wednesday on the 6 CLI meeting.
Yeah, see ya. Okay,
See
thank
ya.
you, everyone. Have a good one. Stay safe. Bye.